Thank you very much. I'm so excited I could shit. Uh,
Please don't.
I tell you, 4 years of hosting Drag Race, of following Drag Race, sorry, and to finally get to speak to you is an honor. So I'm sure you have gay men falling over themselves every time you meet them.
I'd have it no other way, Michael. Thank you.
So I always like to go back before we go forward to where we currently are with you on Drag Race Down Under, which is amazing. But I think it's interesting having a look at the fact that you are here as host. Your career, essentially, what people may not know or realize is you began hosting radio for a really fucking long time.
A very long time, 17 years doing breakfast radio. I'm still doing radio now, just no longer breakfast in the UK on Radio 2 on the BBC. And I do a fabulous Friday night, which is probably the gayest show on the BBC.
I love
So
it. And so you do that from America, you broadcast that to the UK?
I live half the year in the UK. So when I'm there, I do it live, and it's the most exciting thing when I do it live. But yeah, that's how I do it.
Ah, there's nothing like the thrill of live radio. It's
Oh my goodness, it's in my blood. You're either a radio person or you are not. And it's been 20 years. So I think that counts me as a radio person.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of which, you say you do half a year in the UK and half a year in the US, and you do 400,000 other things all the time. How do you manage to do it? You've got your husband and your kids back home. Do you ever see
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, kinda. My husband will fly out to the UK, and he came with me to New Zealand last year, and he'll come bits and bobs, and the kids are in uni, so FaceTime is our best friend. WhatsApp is rife with messages at all times in our family group, and that's how we stay together. My kids are grown, they're 22 and 24, so it was much tougher when they were younger. But my husband is the best dad there is, and he was a stay-at-home dad, and he made sure he was with them and there for them for every single thing they needed. So I'm lucky.
Oh, that's beautiful. Fantastic
Yeah.
support network and happy kids. That's why you've been saying your kids for so long. I think we hear it, we just always keep them in our heads as kids, but
I
for so long,
know.
like they're adults now.
They are. They're growing. They're both in university and they're both graduating very shortly. And then who knows? The world is their oyster.
Oh, do you think they're going to follow in your footsteps?
No, absolutely not. My youngest Lola is starting with the modeling thing. She's a psychology major, and my eldest child Lily is a botanist. So they're completely different than the rest of the family, but they love what they do, and yeah, really loves exploring and foraging and doing things like that that I can't relate to, but I love hearing about it.
Oh, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, radio is one part of your career. Music is obviously another one, and we know we've heard about seduction many times.
Yes.
Just watching some clips before, I love it. And of course, you recently joined up with Steps to do a song, which
Yes.
was gorgeous. I loved it. Um,
Yeah.
are you keeping your feet or your toes in the music a little bit more in the future? Can we expect to see some more Michelle music?
You know what? It's funny because every time I think that people don't need to hear a 56-year-old pop star, and then I think, well, hello, Kylie is still dominating the world.
Yeah.
Uh, Madonna's still out there. So for me, I guess you still got Janet Jackson. You got a whole bunch of artists from my generation. So maybe, yeah, every time I think that's done, and then I do a record and it does so well, I surprise myself. So I'll never say never. Absolutely never say never.
Beautiful. Well, hopefully we can see some more on the cards then.
Thank you, darling.
Now, obviously, Drag Race
Yeah.
has obviously formed a major part of your career since season three. When
Yes.
Rue first asked you to come on the show, I know he asked you season one and you weren't able to
Yeah.
join until season three.
Right.
Was it kind of a like, just come and see how this goes thing, or was it, I want you to come and I want you to actually permanently be part of the team?
Oh no, it was, we are offering this to you. This is your chair. And sadly, I was in year one of a 5-year radio deal. And like I said, he's a stay-at-home dad and I'm the only breadwinner. So if I don't work, we don't eat and we don't pay our rent. So when I asked my boss, he immediately shot me down and I said, why? And he said, well, it's not really the right look for our radio station. At that moment, I went, you're a homophobe. You're homophobic. Oh, no, no, I'm not. I said, I didn't even talk. I didn't even ask you if I could talk about it on the air. I just asked you if I could have 2 weeks off. And you said no. Now I know why. So I begrudgingly went through the whole year. And then when they asked me again for series three, I went above him to his boss. And I told him what happened with the homophobia. And I told him what he said. And he said, of course she can do it. And then that boss, the underboss, the homophobic one, he ended up getting fired. Now, it wasn't because of me, but I'd like to think that I had a little bit something to do with it because I did not want to work for a homophobe.
Karma's a bitch, hey?
Amen. Amen to that.
And you still made it. Still made it on the show, and you've been there for 450 seasons ever since.
Yes, the only way to be.
Yes, which is wonderful. And obviously, I know you went from judge to producer. I think it was around season 11. Was that correct?
Was it 11? Yeah, okay.
Seven or 11. 7 or 11 was one
Oh,
of the.
no, let's just go with that. Go on then.
Anyway, you became a producer.
Yeah.
So what was the shift for you in terms of your involvement of the show when you went from judge to producing the show?
I just started getting more involved in things and in meetings and conversations and being more hands-on with ideas and stuff. And I loved that I was taken seriously and taken seriously enough to be a producer. And it means as much to me as being in front of the camera to be able to have a part in this incredible show and help shine a light on these talented creatures. They're unbelievable.
They are amazing. Does that mean you have a role in casting the show as well?
I don't, but I have put people forward over the years. I'll stay mum on which ones I've put forward, but I have put forward quite a bit over the years, and my picks have done quite well. Not because of me, because a lot of times they don't even know that I've put them forward. Like I don't tell Rue that I put them forward because I just think that they're ready to go. I'll go locally. I'll go to drag bars and say, "Oh, this person's good," and I'll email casting and say, "Check this person out." And that's a lot. It's not me going, "Hi, I want this person in." It's me going to the casting people and saying, check this person out. I think they're ready."
Yeah, and then just
But
put it in front of
but
them.
I do not have a hand in casting. That is the casting crew, and that is RuPaul. RuPaul sees every single one of those auditions.
Wow, when does he sleep? There must be hundreds and hundreds of them every season.
Thousands. Every single one he goes through and picks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's,
impressive.
it is very impressive. My
Yeah.
gosh. Uh, And so many, so many, so much talent. And I love the talent. And I love the diversity and the talent in every country as well.
Yeah.
And I love that particularly like with Ruben, particularly for yourself as well. I think I love that you managed to get the grasp of the identity of the country which you're in as well. Obviously the UK, you know quite a lot about UK culture. You're there half of your year. But also down under as well. I don't think there's a time somebody has thrown an Aussieism at you and you haven't swung right back and picked it up and gone with it. Do you research that or you just know?
I first of all, I've researched by default. Like I've loved Aussie TV shows for many years, So for me, when I found, let's say, we know about Priscilla, but when I found like Kath and Kim, I found on my own. I didn't know anything about it. And I started watching. I remember talking to Rue about it. And Rue looked at me like I had two heads. He was like, "Of course I know about Kath and Kim." So I went into a deep hole, watched all the movies. The movies were not great, let's be honest. And I've watched the TV show 20 times over. And then even like recently, Colin from Accounts. I love Colin from Accounts. Found it by myself. And all the Baz Luhrmann movies. I'm a huge Baz Luhrmann fan. If there's ever a movie about my life, I want him to direct. So I educated myself by default. I've always been drawn to not only British but Australian humor. British and Australian humor are very similar too. Very self-deprecating, very funny. The difference is Aussies are really, really raunchy, and I love that.
They are.
Just dirty.
Yeah, they are dirty bitches. They are absolutely
My type of
love
people, Michael.
it. They're my people. They're fantastic.
Yes.
So you've got all that in the bag. You've done 3 seasons of Drag Race Down Under, and then you get the call, and Rue's like, "Hey, so guess what? What's the feeling like then when you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do it."
Yeah, I was like, seriously? And he said, yeah. And I said, 100%. And he said, I just want you to keep in mind that I want you to be you. So I want people to know that if they're tuning in thinking they're going to get Michelle Visage trying to be RuPaul. That is not the case. Now, everything's that the things, the sayings, and all the things that you know and love that are part of the tapestry of our show, that will remain. But as far as me hosting, I'm bringing myself to it because that's what Ru wanted me to do. So I'm still that judge that you love to hate or love to love, depending. But I'm now hosting as well as judging, and I get to be a little more of the maternal side coming out because I get to go into the workroom and get to know them on a different level, and it's pretty special. So these queens are Mitch's bitches. They have their own name.
I love that. Mitch's bitches. Well, and it's great. So I've seen the first episode and I've got to
What'd you
see
think? What'd
the
you
queen.
think?
I actually really liked it. I think there was an energy so far that was just really, I don't know, but fresh. Um, Everybody just seemed to gel, and it was really interesting. I was kind of like halfway through the runway section, and I was like, "Oh, hold on, RuPaul hasn't spoken for a while." Oh, that's right.
She's
That's right.
not there.
She's not there, but it was just like nothing had changed. You hadn't be come in and be like, right, I'm going to change this shit up. You were just being
No.
Michelle.
Yeah, that's all we can do. We can't touch what doesn't need to be touched. It was perfect as is. These queens are so strong. And I told Rue, I said, I have to tell you, this is the strongest season out the box of queens that we've had yet. And they're all funny and wonderful and sharp and witty and catty and beautiful. And it's just a really strong series. And I'm so, so proud of that. But I'm glad you said that. I am only me, and the show still remains true to the identity of the show.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what I got from it. And nothing changed with the Queen's attitude as well. You know, everyone was just like, yeah, we're just going. This is Drag Race Down Under. It rolls.
And they were wonderful and loving and welcoming to me. So it made me feel wonderful. And then, of course, having Reese by my side, who is just the most incredible human being, and having them there made everything happy for me. And then having our queens in that rotating Michelle Visage seat was really wonderful. Having our queens return and judge. They've been through the machine. They've won, they've been in the machine, and then they've gone out there and they've toured. They've done their own shows. They're back in the bars. They got their own business. Having them have that experience and then be able to sit there and judge was wonderful. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was great seeing Isis be able to sit there and do that. And she's a very poised and very intelligent queen as well. So she was really trying to be that supportive person and really deliver that impartial judging as well, which was tough when she had a drag daughter on stage in front of her.
Really tough, but we wouldn't let that favoritism thing happen either. So she knew that and she was very good with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to have some relationship with the queens already, so
Of course, of
of course
course. It's
they're
a
going to have to
small
make that.
community. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the only one thing I did pick up that in that first episode was we are getting ready to bring them back after you deliberating. Now, you said we've made our decision.
Mhm.
So, is the decision now made by the judging panel, or is it your call and everyone's just had a chat about it?
No, it's collective. The way I see it is it should be collective because everybody's got their opinion, and I think everybody's opinion matters. So in my house, it's a collective decision.
Nice. And was that something you came in and went, if we're doing this, this is how I want it to roll?
I think we all just kind of decided that in like a production meeting. It just made more sense. RuPaul's Drag Race, RuPaul should have the say. This is Drag Race Down Under. I am the host, but I want to hear what everybody has to say. And that's how we just kind of said, yeah, let's just do our decision.
Beautiful. I love it. Very
You're
nice.
very
Collaborative
smart.
effort.
Good catch. Good catch.
Um, it's always tough to ask this question because we can't do any spoilers, but is there a particular moment in the filming of the season that kind of sticks with you that you're really going to remember that sort of kind of define that season for you or that experience in the season?
Oh, I think there's a few. You haven't gotten to them yet because you've only seen episode one. I think there's a few. There's a big roller coaster going on. There's some backstage juicy stuff going on. There's some yeah, you're gonna be happy, Michael.
Fantastic, fantastic. I love it. Now, a slightly unrelated but related question that I have to ask because I fucking love it so much is this gorgeous change in your hair with the beautiful silver part that we've
Been
seen.
like that a couple years now.
Yeah, I know, but I've never got to ask you about it.
Go on.
And I just love how you just keep folding into your hair all the time. Was that a decision you went, I'm going to dye this in there, or is this a part of I'm going to just kind of embrace something that's naturally in there and camp it up?
So it started in lockdown. My whole head is this color. You can see I put mascara in here, but like it's literally all of my hair is silver. I'm just not ready to go full silver fox yet. One day I will, it's just not the time. So I did a little poll during lockdown and everybody said, try the streak. Streak would be really fun. So a little streak turned into a chunk. And now it's become such a friggin' thing with my identity that if I get rid of it, people go, well, I miss the silver streak. Where is it? If I wear a wig or if I do something. So now I've got myself into a hole and I can't get rid of it, Michael. But it grows out of my head.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. I just love the way you do something different with it all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
gorgeous.
always that my hairdresser likes to kind of play Where's Waldo, like try to find it lurking somewhere in the ponytail or the wig or the bun. You know what I mean? It's always there somewhere.
Yeah, fun. And the rest of this currently, this is all natural, Michelle, or is this wigging as
Yes. Well, I dye it black.
yeah. I mean like the length and everything. This is all
No, my hair, this is a fall and my hair's longer than this.
beautiful.
If you
Cool.
go on my TikTok, I just did a TikTok and you'll see my natural hair. Yeah.
Ah, I've got to get on the TikToks. I'm terrible
There
at
you go. There
yeah.
you go.
Yes. Well, as yeah, I love talking about hair, so I could do that all day.
I love your pink hair. It's adorable.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I think our time is about up, sadly. Otherwise, I could sit here and talk to you for another 2 hours. But
Oh, well, thank you for your time, Michael, and I'm glad you loved it.